So we are doing 2.4 today, which is solving multi-step inequalities. This is just like solving multi-step equations. We're going to use the same process we did in the last unit when we solved multi-step equations, but we cannot forget if we ever multiply and divide both sides of our inequality by a negative, we have to flip the inequality symbol. So that is the only different thing today that we need to do. So let's look at example 1a. First thing I'm going to do is subtract 7 from both sides of the inequality symbol. I get y over negative 6 is less than, what's that going to be, 2. Multiply both sides by negative 6. Because I multiply by negative 6, I'm going to flip my inequality to go the other direction, and I'm left with y is now greater than negative 12. And then a quick little graph for this. Here's negative 13, negative 12, negative 11, and this is going to be an open circle on negative 12 shaded to the right. Example 1b, go ahead and do the same thing here. We're going to look at what we need to get rid of. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides of the inequality. So I get 2v is greater than equal to 12. Divide both sides by 2, and I get v is greater than equal to 6. So there's my solution. To graph this, make my number line, I'm going to put in 5, then 6, then 7. This is a closed circle on 6, and I'm going to shade to the right and put my arrow at the end. All right, let's go ahead and you can do on your owns. Let's see, which ones should we do today? Let's go ahead and just do on your owns number, let's do 2, and then let's do number 4. And then pause the video. When you're done, you can unpause it, and then I will go over how to do those. So 3, 2, 1, and go. Welcome back. The first thing for number 2 is you should have subtracted 8 from both sides. That would have given you negative 9c is greater than equal to negative 36. Divide both sides by a negative 9. That flips your inequality symbol, and you get c is less than equal to 4. And then when you graph this, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5. It should be a closed circle on 4, shaded to the left. Then number 4, you should subtract 5 from both sides first. That gives you 1 greater than or equal to negative v over 3. At this point, I'm going to multiply both sides by a negative 3, which flips the inequality symbol to be a less than equal to, and I get negative 3 that is less than equal to v. To graph this solution, I'm going to have negative 4, then negative 3, then negative 2. It's a closed circle, and I need to shade to the right. Don't forget your arrows on the end there. All right, let's see what we have next. Next we have example 2 and example 3, some multi-steps that have stuff made like both sides of the inequality. So example 2, first we look for any distributive property, which we don't see any, and then at that point we want to simplify each side by itself, which these are, and then we can start moving things. So let's go ahead and move our stuff around. So first thing I might move is I might subtract 2x from both sides. So I'm left with 4x. Sorry, I think I just drew a line over here. There we go. Let's get rid of that. So we have 4x minus 5 is less than 11. Add 5 to both sides. And that's going to give me 4x is less than 16. Divide both sides by 4, and I get x is less than 4. Now this just said solve, it didn't say graph, so I'm not going to graph these. Let's look at example 3a. First thing I want to do is distributive property. So I'm going to keep the 8b minus 3 and the greater than symbol. Distribute the 4 to get 8b plus 12. I'm going to subtract 8b from both sides. Next thing you know, my 8b's cancel. I get negative 3 is greater than, my 8b's in their side cancel, and I get 12. Is -3 greater than -12? That is a no, meaning no solution. Then we're going to do example 3, part B. I'm going to distribute to get 10w minus 2 less than equal to 7 plus 10w. Let's take away 10w from both sides of this inequality. 10w's cancel, I get -2 less than equal to 7. My w's cancel here. Is -2 less than equal to a positive 7? Yes, which this means infinitely many solutions. Okay. Technically in here, because we have an inequality that's true, all inequalities are infinitely many. So maybe on this one, because we want to talk about not just certain numbers, but this means any number in the entire world will work. So technically here, if that's true, we should actually say all real numbers. Okay, all real numbers. So for example, let's pick a number that just a random number. Let's pick 100. 2 times 5 times 100 minus 1, is that less than or equal to 7 plus 10 times 100? Well, that's going to be 2 times 500 minus 1 is 499. Is that going to be less than or equal to 7 plus 10,000? Well, sorry, plus 1,000. Yes, you're going to get like 998 is less than or equal to 1007, which is true. And I just picked a random number. If we did a negative number, it will work the same way. So there we go. All real numbers for example 3b. Let's go ahead and turn the page now. There are some on your owns here. Let's do on your own number 5. And let's do on your own, ooh, let's go number 6, and we'll call it good for this section. So 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, now that you are doing on your own number 5 and you're done, you should have subtracted 3x from both sides and got 2x. You would have added 12 to both sides and got an 8 on the right. And when you solved, you would have got x is less than equal to 4. On number 6, when you did your distributive property, you got 2k minus 10, and then you had it's less than 2k plus 5, and when you solved, you got negative 10 is less than 5, which means all real numbers. So all real numbers for on your own number 6. Any number in the entire world will work. Now let's look at example 4 here. There we go. Make sure you can see that. Says you need a mean score, not a nice. Ha ha ha. No, that's just kidding. Mean means average. So if you need to, you can say this is average. Score of at least 90 points to advance to the next round of a touchscreen trivia game. What scores in the 5th game will allow you to advance? So mean score. So first game, you had a 95. So an average means you add them all up. So 95 plus 91 plus 77 plus 89. But it says what scores will allow you to advance in the 5th game to allow you to advance. So you're going to add something. You're going to add a score from the 5th game. We need to divide up all of those scores and divide it by 5. Since there's 5 of them, it says at least 90. It means we have to be greater than or equal to 90. So at this point, you're going to take that numerator and you're going to put that in the calculator, which you're not going to see or hear on the screen. I'm going to type in 95 plus 91. If I actually put a 1 in my calculator, plus 77 plus 89, and I get 352 plus x over 5 is greater than or equal to 90. So at this point, I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. And when I do that, I'm going to get, let's see, 90 times 5 should be, see, 9 times 5 is 45, so 450. And on the left-hand side, you get 352 plus x. So 450 minus 352. So I'll make it where you can see this. Means x has to be greater than or equal to 98. So you should have 98 points or more. 98 points or more is what you need to advance. All right. We can go ahead and just skip this last on your own. You just change this now from the 90 to an 85. Okay. And that's all you would need. And then you can figure out what the score is for your fifth game, but we won't do that. We'll call this good. And if you have any questions, reach out. If not, we'll just see you at the next thing of notes.